Hi Cougars! In this video I'm going to show you how I would like for you to complete the figurative language packet that I've assigned you. The first step to completing this packet is to click on this link. So we're going to click on this link and it's going to open up the figurative language packet. Now what we need to do is make a copy. So we're going to make a copy. We're going to go to File, go down to Make a Copy, and click on Entire Presentation. Now I'm going to rename it. I'm going to get rid of this copy here, and I'm going to put my full name. And you're going to put your full name as well. So I'm going to rename it to Figurative Language Digital Task Cards dash your full name. So I'm just going to put Nicky Aguilar. That's my full name. And then you'll click OK. And we'll just wait for it to make a copy. And so once you've done this, there should be a copy of the figurative language packet on your Google Drive for you to work on. Okay, so now that you have made a copy of the figurative language packet, you're going to read the instructions. So here you have instructions on how to use Google Slides. For example, if you accidentally delete a slide, you can go here, or you can use the undo button here, and it also gives you a command for the undo button, which is Control Z. You can also use this tool here to zoom in and out. And it also gives you directions on how to do these two things on an iPad if you're using Google Slides on an iPad. So here are the activity directions. You have already made a copy of this file, which is good. You're going to choose a figurative language task to complete. You're going to complete the digital task card and then record that you have completed the task on the tracking table. And I'll show you that a little bit later. Now here's a really important part. Remember, you can find figurative language definitions at the bottom of each task card. So that's going to be really useful later on in helping you figure out what you need to do for a particular slide. So I'll show you. We'll start the first slide. I'll do that and show you how I would go about doing that. So it says, fill in the gaps to complete these similes. Okay, well, what's a simile? I don't really know what that is. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the bottom of the task card and read the definition here. It says similes use as or like to compare one thing to another, e.g., or for example, it was as bright as the moon. So that's what a simile is. It uses like or as to compare two things. For example, the brightness and the moon, or it and the moon. So let's try our first example here. A, the cake was as blank as blank. And so what I would put is I would say the cake was as hard as a rock. Not a very good cake, but a good simile, right? Because we're comparing two things. We're comparing a cake and a rock. And how are they similar? Well, they're both hard, or in this case, they're both hard, right? Okay, let's move on to the next one. The statue was like a blank. And I might say the statue was like a real person. Okay, let's move on to our next one. Number 2, find an image of a strange looking tree. Type a simile to describe it. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Google. Oops, there we go. And I'm going to look for, I'm going to Google strange looking tree. Now here's a pretty strange looking one. And here's another one. I think I'll click on this one here. And so once I'm looking at this photo, what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click it, and I'm going to go down to the option that says copy image, and then I'm going to click back into the figurative language packet. I'm just going to click here, and I'm going to go to Oh, I'm actually just going to right click inside the slide and then click paste. And that's how you can paste a photo into a slide. It's a really simple method for placing photos into slides. And so there is a photo of a strange looking tree. Now, what does this tree remind you of? Does it remind you of anything? It reminds me of something. So I would say the tree is like a mushroom, because that's what it looks like to me. There it looks like a bit of a mushroom, right? So that's our first slide, and so it's not too bad, pretty easy, pretty straightforward. Let's move on. Let's try the second slide just to make sure that we have this down. Okay, explain the meaning of the following metaphor. The teeth of the crocodile are little white knives. Okay, let's find out what a metaphor is first. So, a metaphor compares two things in a direct way without using like, as, or like. E.g., the shop was a little gold mine. Okay, so the teeth of the crocodile are little white knives. So this is a metaphor, and we need to explain this metaphor. Well, if the teeth are like little white knives, what are what's a quality of knives? They're sharp, right? So that's what we would put here. The meaning of this metaphor is that the crocodile's teeth are sharp. And that's it. That's what we would put down for that first one. Okay, number 2, find an image of something you can see outside. Type a metaphor to describe it. Now, I'm not going to force you to take any photos of anything. If you want to just paste a photo from Google, that's fine with me. You can paste a photo of anything that you like. So, find an image of something you can see outside. Type a metaphor to describe it. Okay, I'm just going to look for an image of, let's say, a car. Okay, so here is a pretty cool and fast looking car. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this image here, and then I'm going to click into the slide. I'm going to right click in the slide. I'm going to right click here and click on paste. Right, and so there's the photo of the car that I just copied from Google. I'm going to resize it a little bit more, and place it. And then I'm going to type a metaphor to describe it. Let's think of a metaphor. Let's say the car was a rocket ship. It's not really a rocket ship, right? But we're going to compare it to a rocket ship, but we're not going to use like or as. So that's a metaphor, okay? A metaphor is something that compares two things without using like or as. Okay, let's move on to maybe the third one, just to make sure that we've really got this down. Okay, place a circle around the objects that are being personified. What does personify mean? Okay, let's look down here. Personification makes a non-human thing seem human, e.g., the leaves danced in the breeze. Okay, all right, so that just means that we're going like human-like qualities to something that is not human. So let's read the first one. A, the cheese pizza is calling my name. Well, does a cheese pizza really call someone's name? No, not literally. Metaphorically it does. And so the cheese pizza is what is being personified in this case. So we're going to place the circle around cheese pizza. All right, let's move on to letter B. Letter B says, the leaves twisted and twirled to the ground. Okay, well, do leaves really twist and twirl on their own? No, sometimes they do that with the help of a little bit of air, of wind, but in this case, leaves do not really twist and turn on their own. That's something that humans do. So we're going to put a circle around leaves because the leaves are what are being personified right now. Okay, so C, the truck roared into life. as it began its journey. Well, what's being personified here? Does a truck really roar? Well, not literally, of course, but it's being personified. So the truck is what is being personified. And so we've circled all of the things that are being personified in this case. Okay, so number 2. Choose a household object and drag it into the box below. Type your own personification about it. Okay, let's do the umbrella. Oops, get rid of that. Okay, we're gonna do umbrella. So let's think of something that we can personify the umbrella with. The umbrella. Oops. Umbrella. Or make sure to spell check everybody. I want to see everybody's. There's no excuse for not having things spelled correctly, right? We have spell check on our computers. Make sure you spell everything correctly. So the umbrella popped open uh, uh, energetically, right? So does an umbrella pop open with energy ever? No, not really. But in this case, we are personifying the umbrella to say that it popped open, right? So that we're giving it, lifelike qualities. That's essentially what we're doing when we personify something. Is we're going to give it lifelike or human-like qualities, and we're going to give this to something that is not alive, right? It's not alive, just like candles are not alive, a hose is not alive, a fridge is not alive, a bike is not alive, right? An umbrella is not alive, but we're going to give all of these things lifelike qualities, and that's what we are doing here, right? With this sentence, the umbrella popped open energetically. So that's how I would like for you to go about completing this assignment. I don't expect you to finish it all in one day, of course. I'm going to give you actually roughly a week and a half or so, and I'll let you know as time goes on. And I'll take into account how it's looking, how everybody's doing before I let you know when it's due. Okay, so just work on this during the English language arts block of time, and let me know if you have any questions. Okay. Okay, Cougars. So now that you have finished your packet, or if you would just like to submit to me what you've completed so far, because you can always resubmit assignments later on when they're more complete, you'll just go back to the assignment page on Canvas, and then you will click on Submit Assignment. You'll go down to the bottom of the page where it gives you the options to submit your assignment. One of these options is File Upload, but of course the method that I prefer that you use is you go to Google Drive, and from here you select from the list of documents on your Google Drive the name of the assignment that we're working on, which is the figurative language packet, right? So you're going to look for figurative language digital task cards - your name, and you're going to look for that here in the list of documents in your Google Drive, and then once you're done, you'll just click, you'll attach it, and then you'll click submit, and that's how I would like for you to submit this assignment on Canvas. If you have any questions at all, Cougars, just let me know. Reach out to me. I will be in my WebEx room all day, except for break times. Okay, I hope to see you all soon. Thanks for watching, Cougars. Bye-bye.